One of our viewers wrote in to ask, are there particular codes that have to be met in converting my single-family residence into a rental? The answer is yes, there is, but not many. So the first one has to do with the Texas housing statutes and their requirement for locking devices on the doors. Say this is the frame of your door. The first one is going to be on your keyless deadbolt. A keyless deadbolt is that lock where you see nothing from the outside, and on the inside it just has a knob to engage and disengage that deadbolt lock. The next one are going to be deadbolt locks, where on the outside you have a key to engage and disengage. On the inside it'll just be the knob. Now, if you have one of those deadbolts that requires a key from the outside and on the inside, those are not allowed under the property code. And the reason of that is that if you have an emergency, you don't want someone scrambling around looking for a key. If they can't find it, that could be really bad. So again, key on the outside, just the turn knob on the inside. And then beyond that, you can have an additional lock in the door knob if you want, but there's not really a code requirement that says you have to have that third device. So again, keyless, regular deadbolt, and then whatever your knob is going to be. Additionally, you will want to have viewfinders. Peepholes is the other term for that in all your exterior doors. And keeping in mind, this one's a little bit different, where the door from the kitchen out into the garage is still considered an exterior door, even if that doesn't directly lead to the exterior. Now, you may in fact have yet another door that leads from the inside of the garage to outside. So that's also going to be considered an exterior door, just something a little tricky that we have to do in the code work. So, but you'll want to be able to see if there's somebody in that garage or somebody that's in that side yard. You'd want to be able to view them. In regard to sliding glass doors have to have 2 out of 3 different type of locks. And the first one might be the factory lock. The other one might be a pin lock. If you have a pin lock that requires a key, that one won't work for the same reason that we talked about earlier. So you have to be able to get in and out by just pulling that pin to engage and disengage it. And then finally, the Charlie bar, which is that bar that goes between the panels to keep that sliding glass door from moving or being, doing that. So all right, so moving on. The smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors in properties. The locations on these are pretty specific, so I'm going to say that if you use a professional locksmith to do your code work and also have your property rekeyed, which is required between each occupancy, most of those companies will also check for your locations and number of units for your carbon monoxide detectors and smoke detectors. If your property has gas for the heating and or appliances, then you're going to want to have the carbon monoxide detectors. Okay, so that's going to be something that isn't required in all areas under code, but as a proficient landlord, you're certainly going to want to go ahead and have those in place. Next thing down has to do with HOAs. And the HOAs that govern your property, they're not really quote unquote codes, but they are usually rules in your covenants of your ownership. So check with your HOA, see if there's any rules in regards to having renters. Sometimes they will require them to register as renters for using like pool facilities and any area amenities, and or if there is a gate for access into your community, they're probably going to want to have your renters registered so they can program them into the gate. So that's the lowdown on all this stuff. If you have any questions that I can answer for you, please let me know. Email me directly at greg@austonscribepm.com. It's a pleasure visiting with you today. Thanks again.